Hey, this is Prometheus giving you another breakdown. This is going to be the Carolina Panthers ebook. I basically have taken a look at the entire playbook, and I can tell you there's a lot of great formations in here. It was very hard for me to kind of narrow down a scheme because of all the great formations, the pistol formations, all the great plays in the gun formations, a lot of great plays in here. Now, what's great about the Carolina book is that it has a lot of running quarterbacks. So if you do like to use a running quarterback, it's definitely something you want to go with. Now, I decided to narrow this down to about 4 different formations that I'm going to be breaking down into this ebook. There, obviously, I can jump into some other stuff as I play online and see how my opponents react to it, but I'm going to break my book down by following. First and foremost, I'm going to use the tight pair, I-form tight pair. I'm going to use this as kind of a base running formation, and also for third down, third and short situations, and also goal line situations. So this is going to be basically a formation I'm going to jump into when I need those first downs, when it's a short or it's in the goal line. Another formation I'm going to use is going to be the single back bunch ace. This formation has got a lot of really unique plays that I can attack my opponent to the right and to the left. In the shotgun formation, I'm going to be using 2 formations. It's going to be the double flex wing weak. I had a request from a subscriber to actually go ahead and use this. I'm also going to go ahead and break down the Y trips tight end slot, primarily because of a base running play I can use, and I can access a lot of those plays that I was using in the previous book, so I pretty much know it down pat. So let's go ahead and jump into the first formation, and that's going to be the I-form tight pair. Okay, so in the I-form tight pair, I'm gonna have basically about 4 different audibles I can get into. It's gonna be the X slant. I've actually used this in my John Harbaugh book, which was the Ravens book. I'll break this play down. I've got a play action spot, which is a really good play. It kind of works as a buck sail for long distances, and then you actually can go ahead and use it in goal line situations to go ahead and attack your opponent in different areas. Also, Panther fade. Panther fade is actually a good play to go ahead and use. Where you can actually do a lob pass to the fade on the left hand side. You've got a nice little drag route that can drop down to pick up maybe 1 or 2 yards, and then it comes with a basic ISO. Now this is going to be a set where I'm going to be really trying to attack my opponent with the run game. So halfback toss is going to be one of the plays I'm going to go ahead and use just to force him to defend the outside. And another play is probably the most harassing play in the book that you can probably have is going to be a fullback dive. So if you sprinkle in a toss and then a halfback fullback dive, it's going to be very difficult for your opponent to stop that because he's going to have to make massive adjustments. And if you hit him with the right offensive or pass plays, you really can destroy him. So let's go ahead and jump into the running game, and then we're going to go ahead and go into the pass plays after that. Now the tight pair, I-form tight pair, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and do a dual halfback swap. That's going to give my best running back at the fullback position, especially if I got a good running back that has good hands. And my fastest running back I want to put in my running back number 2 position and go ahead and make a play from there. Now, I always want to try to attack my opponent on the outside, so the halfback toss is going to be that base play. And really, all I'm going to do is just go ahead and let my blocks set up and try to go ahead into the outside, and that way I'm going to go ahead and get that big play up the sideline. Now, conversely, you can flip this play to the other side, but that is going to leave you somewhat naked. But if you have an opponent that's shifting his defense, you can always flip it real quick. Now, another great play to go ahead and use in the scheme is going to be a fullback dive. And that's why I like to put my main running back underneath that. So I'm just going to go ahead and run right up the middle. And you're going to pick up those easy chunky yards up the middle. And if he starts defending certain gaps, you can just go ahead and flip the play real quick. But this is an easy way to pick up a good 5 or 6 yards or a first down. Now, coincidentally, the run play is going to be an ISO, which essentially is going to be run down the middle. So you probably don't want to go into an ISO play if your opponent is starting to stack the line. This would only be good if the toss he gives you a nice big gap. You can go ahead and go into the ISO to go ahead and try to pick up some easy yards up the middle. So this does provide you a pretty good running attack. He's going to have to really be conscious of it, and that's going to open up the pass plays. Alright, so the first audible we're going to be looking at is going to be the X slant, and this is going to be a 2 progression read. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to be watching Benjamin on this particular play. Now first and foremost, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and take both my running backs and put them on wing routes off to the right hand side. Sometimes you can do wheel routes, but you know, those, it really depends on where the ball is on the field. My progressions are going to be the following. I'm going to go ahead and look for man coverage with Benjamin. So if the defender that is over the left tackle, which is the linebacker, if you can see him, he's over here. He basically, if he doesn't fall back into coverage, I know that there's probably man coverage, and I can go ahead and hit Benjamin over the middle. Now, if the defender floats back, if the defenders float back, I've got a zone read, and I've got essentially a flood over to the left-hand side. I'll dump the ball off to the running back and just wait for my blocks to set up and go ahead and take the ball, take the easy yards I can get from that. So right here, it is man coverage, and the slant generally will get open all the time against that. So once again, same read, same look, and I'm going to keep dumping down the slant to pick up the easy yards with any kind of man coverage. Alright, so this is zone. I'm just going to dump it down the running back and just let my block set up for me. So this is not going to be a play that I'm going to go ahead and jump in too much. This is going to be a play that I'm just going to go ahead and try to catch my opponent a little bit off a little bit. If he's running a lot of zone, I know I'm going to go ahead and be able to dump it down. If he runs a lot of man, I can go ahead and hit it up. But this is just going to be a very fast read progression type play based on the coverage that it gives me. Now the next play we're going to look at is going to be the play action spot, and this is going to be a play that I'm going to essentially go ahead and streak up my tight end number 2, which is Dixon, and I'm going to go ahead and put a block in there. Now optionally I could do a couple things too. I can go ahead and leave that deep dig route with Benjamin, or I can put him on a drag route to give me a fast read. So my progressions are really going to be off to the right hand side. I'm going to go ahead and see what happens to the defender over Olsen and Stewart. If the flat is open, I'm going to go ahead and check the ball down to Stewart. If it's man coverage and I see a defender falling into Stewart's area, I'll start looking at Olsen, and then I'll go ahead and look at Benjamin coming across the middle. So if it's zone, I've got a flat corner concept, and then I've got a drag behind it. So really my progressions are going to be Stewart, Olsen, and then Benjamin. So right here, no one goes into flat. I'm going to go ahead and take those easy yards if it's a cover 3 blitz. Once again, I'm going to give them a look again like this. And if the defender goes in, I can actually go ahead and check up if the defender comes down. So let's take a look at this in instant replay. Alright, so instant replay, once again I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the flat. There is a defender in the area, and I know I've got a defender. I've got one of my wide receivers is going to be going ahead and take that deep third away. So this corner route should be wide open if the defender comes down and defend the flat. And then on the back side of it, I've got this dragging route right here. So if he has another defender up in the area taking away the corner, I can hit this dragging route across over the middle, and that's going to basically go ahead and give me another check down. So progressions are going to be off to the right hand side, but you can see it really stretches the field. If my opponent runs any kind of zone coverage, especially cover 3, this is going to give me a good opportunity to make a big play. And I've also got this dragging route underneath that you can pick up some pretty easy yards with. Now you can do a different look with this particular play. And the reason why you can do a different look is because you have basically that deep dig route, and you have a levels concept over here on the left hand side. So if you start becoming a little bit too predictable, your opponent starts shadowing and taking defenders and coming down to take away the corner route, you can essentially go ahead and change this play around by taking your tight end number 2 and putting him on a drag route over the middle. So now if it's man coverage, you can watch the tight end number 2 release, and if he gets a free release, that's fine. If it is, you also have got a high lead with Benjamin, and then if it's levels, you can choose to either hit low or left or high on the back end. So this is actually basically a high route, and as you can see right there, I threw the ball right into the receiver and he can come down with it. So same look again, and I'll just dump it down to the tight end number 2 for an easy 5 yards. So you could pretty much run this play the entire game if you wanted to, just based on the easy reads with it. But this is a nice little play that you can check into in this scheme if your opponent starts overcompensating for the run. But you know, this formation is based on fullback dives and pitches, and then you just throw in an occasional pass play from there. You'll be able to pick up some pretty easy yards. Alright, so the last audible we're going to have is going to be the play at the Panthers fade. And really I like this play more in the end zone than I do, more in a goal line situation than I do over here on a basic play. But one of the things you can do is the fade actually will allow you to do some strange animation. If you do a lob ball, so in other words you just go ahead and tap the ball and use the left bumper, that's going to be a high pass. You'll be able to go ahead and lob the ball up to Benjamin. And if you've got a lot of single coverage out there, it's worth a shot to do that with your #1 wide receiver, especially if you get a tall wide receiver with good catch in traffic, good spectacular catch. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this off. And you can see right there he comes down with the ball. One of the things I like to do is to go ahead and take my running back and put him on a wheel route the other side if I do have zone coverage. And I've got this drag, which is an easy check down to pick up a couple yards, especially in a 3rd and 2 situation, 3rd and 1. Now this is not really a play that I use a lot. If I'm in a 3rd and 10 situation, what I can do is I can get rid of that fade route and actually go ahead and do some kind of a route such as a deep out, and I can always go ahead and dump it down to the wing off the left hand side to force my opponent to defend the flat. So that's why I like to go ahead and take that running back and put him over there. That strange route right there with the tight end, it doesn't really get a good release at all, so I don't necessarily like hitting it. It just isn't really that great of a route at all at that. So, but the key to this play though is actually going to the goal line situation, so inside the 5-yard line. You can go ahead and use the lob to the fade to actually pick up an easy touchdown, and plus they get to defend against the fullback dive and the toss. It's a nightmare defensively to try to stop this formation at the goal line. So let's go ahead and pull this up to the goal line and show you the 2 different audibles that you can jump into, especially with the fullback dive and a toss. So in this type of situation, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take advantage of the animation of a high pass. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap the square button to do a lob pass, but by holding down the left bumper at the same time. And that should give you kind of an athletic play right there to go ahead and get an easy touchdown against 1-on-1 coverage. Conversely, another play that you can use is a spot. And what I like to do is I like to hot route the tight end #1 route, and I'm going to go ahead and leave another blocker in there, and I'm just going to make progressions like I did with the Z spot on the other side, with actually the spot route out of the gun bunch that I broke down before, and really just going to see if I can get somebody in the area. And I'll go ahead and take that flat route. Got rid of that ball a little bit late right there. And man coverage basically should give you a touchdown right there. So once again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and audible a smart route to my tight end, so he just gets a break at the goal line. I'm going to block my running back to give me some time. And I can go ahead and do a nice little high pass with that dig route. You get some nice little separation. I can pick up some pretty good yards with it. So it's a pretty good formation to have down at the goal line. It's a good formation on 3rd down situations, even 1st down situations. Just force my opponent to go and stop the toss, the fullback dive. It's going to be very difficult for him to stop all that stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into the next formation, so you can go ahead and see how this next formation is broken down. Alright, so the next formation we're going to look at is going to be the single back bunch ace. What I like about this formation, I like to do is take my most athletic tight end, which usually would be the tight end #1, and put him in the slot position. So dual tight end swap. Let's go ahead and take a look at the audibles and then go into the base plays we'll pick. The audibles we're going to be looking at, we got 2 motion audibles, which is going to be play action waggle and halfback ace power. The ace power is going to be run in between the tackle and the guard on the left-hand side with a pulling tight end. And then you've got the play action waggle, which essentially I've got a corner route and I've got a unique route that will blow away man coverage just because of the angles of it. So it's a nice play to go into. Then I've got spacing is a nice play where it'll hit gaps against zones, and then obviously verticals, which is Panther Go. So that's a vertical play. Now in this set, since I've got a run off to the left and wanted to try to do a run off the right, the motion path through zone, I didn't really care for this play too much. Basically there's going to be two plays I'm going to go ahead and pick as base plays. The clear out SE op is going to be one of the plays I'm going to go ahead and pick, and then the toss crack. So let's go ahead and take a look at the running plays and we'll go from there from everything else. So with this particular play, all you got to do is try to run to the outside, and as you can see right there, I'm able to go and hit the corner, pick up a good 10 yards, and Stewart's not that fast. Alright, so with this play, you've basically got a pulling tackle, and your tight end number 2 is going to be going ahead and pulling too. And all you're really going to do is you're just going to look for the blocks. You want to go ahead and try to run to the sidelines, and hopefully if you can get that one-on-one and make a play against a defender, you'll pick up some pretty good yards. So this is going to force your opponent to be conscious of the pitch play. He's going to have to be concerned about that. And Stewart, once again, he's a slow running back. He's not the fastest running back, and if you do get the good blocking, you can actually pick up, you can hit the corner and go house with this play. Now after you establish the pitch, you can go into the halfback ace power, and as you can see, the play art shows you to actually go ahead and run in between the left tackle and the left guard is where you're going to go. Now this is an auto motion play. It's going to essentially give your opponent a tell, but we're going to go ahead and build in a couple of auto motions for pass plays, so we're basically giving our opponent the same look. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to wait and just run right up the hole, and as you can see right here, able to pick up some pretty monster yards with that. So this is fairly straightforward. You just go ahead and run right between the tackle and the guard, and you've got this guard, or the other guard that's pulling is going to clean right up for you and give you a nice little hole. So if you could pick up 10 yards on a running play, that's going to be money. You're going to, actually anything above 5 yards is going to be something very harassing for an opponent to stop. Alright, so the next play we're going to take a look at is going to be the clear out split end option, and the reason why I like this play is that you've got a circle route on the left side of the field. This will actually go ahead and take advantage of your opponent if he's running a lot of man coverage. You can hit him for a huge play right there. What I like to do is the red option route. I'm going to put him on a drag, so I actually have a check down for man coverage against a blitz that I can drop the ball down fairly quickly. And my progressions are going to be all off the left hand side. That's where I'm going to attack my opponent out. So once again, the look is going to be like this. This is what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag Olsen, which is my tight end number 1. I'm going to go ahead and take Dixon and put him on motion. And once he gets over the guard, I'm going to go ahead and bring him out. And if I can get this circle route against man coverage, I'm going to go ahead and take it because this is going to be a big gainer for me. So my read is really going to be this tight end right here. I'm going to go ahead and see if he gets followed. As you can see, he's getting followed by a defender. Another defender is actually coming down to the running back, but the running back is really getting blown away right here in this particular situation. I probably could have dumped in the running back and picked up some pretty major yards off that. But I know the circle route is always going to blow away man coverage. You can see that the defensive back actually gets inside position. He has to roll on the backside, and that's always going to get separation as a wide receiver. So I can take the check up and pick up some massive yards, but you can see where he catches the ball, he catches it about 15 yards down the field. So that's an easy first down if you're in a 3rd and long situation. So once again, the same look. Motion Dixon over, and then go ahead and hike the ball. And then I've got basically a levels concept over here. I can hit the running back, or I could have hit Olsen. So as you can see, Olsen is actually left free. These guys float up. Looks like it's kind of some kind of, actually it looks like cover 2. It's cover 2 sink because these defenders actually follow. So these defenders are following. I probably couldn't hit that, but as you can see, the flats are wide open. So that's why I went ahead and checked up to the running back. I could have done the tight end and basically been able to hit, effectively gotten some yards. So this is going to give you fairly fast and easy progressions and reads to go ahead and attack your opponent with. It's also going to give you some blocking if you decide to go ahead and do underneath, because you got two offensive players in the area. So I do like this. This is a nice little complement to the auto motion for the rest of the places. Let's go ahead and take a look at the audibles, and we're going to go in the auto motion audible right now so you can show how I can attack my opponent to the right side. So the play action waggle is going to be another auto motion here. This is going to build off the ace power. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make it so I can actually effectively attack my opponent to the right side. So the first adjustment I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take again and streak him up. So that's going to give me a seam defender pulling any kind of a blue zone out of the way with Olsen. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a swing pattern over there with the running back. So I still got the auto motion with the tight end, so that's going to give him the read that he's seen before. I put the guy in motion. It looks like it's a run, but this time actually what it is actually a pass, and I can dump down to the easy read with the running back if it's there. So two quick adjustments, definitely something you can get off. And if it is man coverage, a lot of times this wide receiver will actually get easy separation. So this wide receiver is going to get very easy separation against man coverage. It was zone, and he still floats in an area that's in between where the zones are at. So if the defender is actually floating, doing underneath coverage, he's not going to do that. He's going to do overneath coverage, and that's actually going to allow that running back to be wide open. So you could pretty much pepper your opponent wherever. If he starts reading or starts floating in areas that he's starting to read, that you can actually go ahead and hit him in different areas of the field by leaving that unique route over here, which is it's just a really good route to pick up some easy yards. And then finally, if the defender's not in the area and you can hit the corner route, you can go ahead and pick up a good 20-25 yards with the corner route. So basically, once again, it looks like I've got man coverage here. Defender actually comes out to the flat to take away this running back. The running back gets taken away. This, as you can see, is man coverage, and he actually gets that separation I was talking about. So you can, if he's not running a buzz zone over the middle, you can actually go ahead and hit that pretty much any time that you want against man coverage. So if your opponent's using a lot of man coverage, you know you can actually go ahead and either hit him with the circle route with the previous play, or you can use this route to go ahead and hit him the outside. And then I've got the corner route. Actually, he just makes a good beat, outside beat. And that actually is going to be something you've been looking for in a cover 3 shell if the defender comes down and takes the running back. So this has got a lot of man beaters, it's got a lot of zone beaters, it's a very effective play, it's a good play to run against your opponent. Alright, so the Panther goal goes essentially as verticals, and what I want to do is I'm going to give myself a fast and easy progression. And I'm going to go ahead and take Benjamin and put him on a drag route that's going to give me easy read. And if the defender just follows, if he doesn't, I can go ahead and hit Benjamin on the other side of the field in an area that he's probably not used to defending. So the progressions are really easy. Just watch Benjamin, and if it isn't, if the defenders actually come down, I can hit the seam over there on the right side. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and watch Benjamin, and as you can see, these defenders are actually crashing down. Once they start, you know that if this corner doesn't follow Benjamin, it's zone. So my next read is going to be watching these defenders coming down. If they're crashing down, which right here they're crashing down to Benjamin, I know that this vert right here is going to be wide open. So this is the typical verticals concept against zone and man, and I'm just going to do a pass lead down and inside, so you can cut that ball off and pick up some pretty good easy 20 yards on that. I've also got a deep tight end route going over the middle. That with a good athletic tight end, I can actually pick up some pretty easy yards with that. So this is verticals, one of the most popular plays in the game as far as passing concepts, and the reason why it's so popular is because of how effective a passing play it is. Alright, so the last play we're going to look at is going to be spacing. This is our last final audible, and this is really going to stretch your opponent horizontally in the formation. One adjustment I'm going to make is I'm going to take my slot or my tight end number 1 and put him in a drag route for a fast read against man and zone coverage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take Olsen and have this look. And really what I'm going to do is if it's man coverage, I'm going to look to Olsen, Ginn Jr. and then Benjamin. If it is zone coverage, I'm going to look to Ginn Jr., Dixon, and then Benjamin. So this is actually, it looks like zone, but the flat is wide open. So I'm going to go ahead and take that flat route up right away. So you can see right here, actually, yeah, it's kind of a hybrid coverage right here. I probably could have hit this guy over the middle, but it was kind of an unusual blitz. It was a zone blitz. Usually anytime you have a zone blitz, the flats are wide open. So those are the reads you're going to go ahead and take when the zone blitz is going to go ahead and hit the flats right there. So the defender was in the area taking away Ginn, but the flat was wide open. And I've also got this guy crossing over, but he probably would have been taken away too. That would have taken a little bit too long for me to hit that route. Once again, I'm going to read Olsen. And I've got the check down that I can actually hit right there too to pick up easy yards. And if it's man coverage, Olsen should get wide open. And if you got a very good athletic tight end number 1, you should pick up some pretty good yards against a man blitz like that. So you've got 6 blockers. This is basically going to give you a good way to go ahead and attack your opponent vertically, and it gives you ways that you can attack him in spots if he goes into zone coverages. So that's what I do like about this play, is that it does provide you a lot of different ways to go ahead and attack your opponent and really cause a lot of headaches attacking him vertically. So let's go ahead and jump into the next formation. Alright, so the next formation we're going to jump into is going to be the doubles flex wing weak. And the reason why I'm breaking this down is one of my subscribers that asked me to break down a scheme form out of the wing weak is Gibbs Got Dibs 11. He put a request and I actually break this scheme down. I do like these formations, and it is actually, they've got some unique aspects to it. But I like about this particular play is that it's got really good running plays to select. It comes with a standard inside zone split is the audible, and it also has the shuffle option as one of the plays, and then I've also got a nice little power option. So we're going to break down the running game, and then we're going to go into some of the actual audibles that we can go ahead and hit our opponent with, and then I have one base play that I might call based on if my opponent is actually just starting to pick up on my tendencies. So the base audible we're going to look at is going to be the shovel option, and really what we're going to do is going to try to hit the running back on the option play. I want to go ahead and give my opponent the same look, so I'm always going to go ahead and motion this wide receiver, and then if I get attacked by the defender, I'm going to go ahead and pitch the ball off by hitting my left bumper button. So what's great about this play is that he's going to have to compensate for the pitch on the running back, and then if you've got a good mobile quarterback, you can pick up a lot of good yards with it. So this is really going to force your opponent to defend the left side outside of the field, and then you can really go ahead and really abuse them going into the next run play. So let's go ahead and jump into that right now. Now, the next run play we're going to look at is going to be the halfback power O. Still want to go ahead and motion our outside wide receiver, go ahead and move him out towards the line of scrimmage. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to be looking for the inside run in between the right tackle and the right guard. So as you can see, we're Dixon, which is my tight end, and that's going to be the area that I'm going to go ahead and run behind. And I want to go ahead and give my opponent the same look because that's going to set up my pass plays. And as you can see right there, a nice hole right there, especially if your opponent starts overcompensating to take away the pitch. So always go ahead and keep showing him this because it's going to help open up those pass plays. Just take that hole and you'll be able to pick up some pretty easy yards with that. Now, you've got, you know you're going to run to the left, you've got the pitch play, you've got the power option to the right. The next audible that you've got is going to be the inside zone. And what I like about this particular play is that all you have to do is just go ahead and look for the hole in between either the right or the left side of the center, and it's going to pick up some pretty monster yards for you. So as you can see right here, I get a nice little hole. I can bounce that back. Once again, get the same look because I will set up all my pass plays, and I just run right behind the center right there and pick up some pretty monster yards up the middle. So this formation is really going to be used to establish the run. You're not going to use the pass plays as much as you are going to go ahead and try to use the run, because the run is going to be something he's going to have a hard time stopping. Now, the first audible we're going to look at is going to be slants. This is somewhat of a unique play, but really we're going to try to focus our attack off to the left-hand side of the field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and streak up my slot receiver. I'm going to go ahead and take my wide receiver and go ahead and motion him over. Now, what I can do is I can make an adjustment on what route he's going to run. Now, if I want to go ahead and just streak him up, I think it gives me basically a streak slant concept, and then I've also got a flat route by the tight end. So with a streak slant concept, basically what I'm going to do is if it's zone coverage, I should be able to hit Benjamin over the middle. If it's man, basically because it's off coverage, I should be able to hit Benjamin over the middle. And I've also got a flat, that tight end actually going in the flat. So with this, as you can see right here, the slant was pretty wide open because it wasn't man coverage, and he's going to get that inside release and pick up easy yards. So you know you can get one audible in before the offensive line sets. Go with the motion again. And if it is some kind of a blitz, you've got the flat that your opponent is going to have a hard time stopping. You can go ahead and hit that route. Another thing you could do is you can put him on a deep comeback route before you motion him over. This is going to be a different look than most opponents are used to seeing, and I just like it as just a nice little clean out route or clear out route that actually will take away the seams against your opponent. So that, you know, it's kind of cool to be able to have a comeback route in the slot. It's just not something you normally see. But the defenders do play it a little bit funky. I haven't really had good success hitting it. And if I do get single coverage up top, I'm going to go ahead and take it, especially if I got my best wide receiver right there in the slot. He can come down with the ball and pick up a nice big gain for me. Now, the 4Y seam is the next audible in this. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm still going to go ahead and give my opponent the same look. I'm going to go ahead and take again and put him on a drag route. And really what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and motion him. As soon as he gets under Olsen or my slot wide receiver, I'm going to go and snap the ball. Now on man coverage, I'm going to have a read either to the out or the drag. So my read is going to be the defender that's actually over again. And if he follows him, as you can see, it comes biting down and follows. I know that I've got one-on-one man coverage out here with my slot receiver. And this particular route does get good separation, especially if you have your number one wide receiver or a good tight end. You can actually go and pick up some pretty good yards. And you can see right there, I'm able to go and pick up a good 20, actually a good 17, 18 yards right there with that particular route. So you can pretty much run this play 50% of the snaps if you wanted to, primarily because of the way the play works. It's just going to get easy separation. You go ahead and drag up my wide receiver. I'm going to go ahead and motion him. I'm going to snap him when he gets underneath Olsen. There you go. Get a little turbo boost, and I've got that easy route to the outside. Once again, we go and motion the guy over, and then snap the ball. And in zone coverage, you're basically going to have a high-low concept, and the defender is going to be stuck in limbo to make a decision. So I'm going to go ahead and watch this receiver. As you can see, nobody comes down and follows against man coverage. The defender that should be over him actually floats up and takes away my out read. That out pattern is going to be blown up. That will be an interception if I throw that. So my next progression is going to go ahead and follow my drag route across the field. Now, as you can see, this defender comes down and takes away the drag route, putting him out of position for the seam. And this is where verticals come in, is that you've got the seam wide open. As you can see right there, I pick up a good 25 yards. So what's great about this play is that you're going to be able to go ahead and pick up some pretty good yards. He's going to have a hard time stopping this particular play, and this is an audible that you can jump into very easily, very quickly against your opponent to really cause him to have a hard time stopping this. And the final audible is going to be the play action slide. What I like to do is take the running back and put him on a wing route, and I'm still going to go ahead and motion that outside wide receiver, and actually I'm going to go ahead and motion him out all the way to the other side to try to give him a slants look. So this essentially is going to be the look. I'm going to go ahead and take my running back and go ahead and put him in a wing route. That gives me a cover 3 look, or a cover 3 shell, or cover 3 blitz check down. And I'm going to go ahead and take this wide receiver and snap the ball right there. So if a defender does not fall in the area, that's going to give me a nice little blocker to be able to get myself a makeshift screen off the edge. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and look to see if anybody falls in the area. If these two guys are on an island, I'm going to go ahead and check down all the time, because I know I've got a blocker that's going to be able to go and pick up a block and give me some extra yards down the field. Once again, motion my wide receiver, give him a slants look. And I've got this deep out route that if I wanted to, I can go ahead and wait for that to develop. It should pick up some easy yards for me. Same look, going to go ahead and put the running back in a wing route. Go ahead and motion over. And man coverage, deep out route will get easy separation. You just do a pass lead down and off to the left, and that should get wide open. Now it looks like we've got a blitz over here off to the right side of the formation. So just what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and check down to the running back. I'm going to go ahead and take away that zone blitz. And as you can see right here, look at the blocking I get down the field. So this is really going to hit your opponent in different areas of the field. He's got a hard time stopping that. And you've also got this deep post up here. If he doesn't hit you correctly, that you can actually go ahead and get a very big yards against him if he comes in and he doesn't have. So this is a really good play to have in your audibles. All you have to do is just make sure you understand your reads correctly and just get rid of the ball as quickly as possible to the right players, and he's just going to have a hard time stopping this play. So you've got all different ways to go ahead and attack your opponent off to the right hand side and off to the left. She's going to have a hard time stopping this scheme. There's one other play you can do too, just because if he starts picking up with the tendency that the slot wide receiver is going to be going usually on out routes, you can go ahead and go into a different base play to give him just a different look. And the last play we're going to look at is going to be the play action read. What I like about this particular play is that it's going to be a levels concept, but once again it's going to be focusing off the right side. And that slot receiver that basically on the 2 different plays was actually doing out routes. Now I've got him on a deep post, something your opponent is probably not going to be used to doing. And if he's using that middle safety, you can go ahead and really abuse him on that. Adjustments are going to be the following. I'm going to go ahead and do a block and release with the running back. That's a quick audible. And then actually go ahead and take my comeback wide receiver that's on the left hand side and put him on a drag. I'm going to motion him underneath the post and stamp the ball, so we get a levels concept from there. So what we're going to do right here is going to do a block and release with the running back, and then we're going to go ahead and take our wide receiver, put him on a drag route, and just snap the ball and wait for him to get a separation. And if there's no defenders in the flats, you're going to go ahead and take those easy yards. So once again, same look, snap the ball, got everybody floating up. But then I've got this big play right here, the big post, that if the defenders don't float up, I can hit them over the middle for a good 40-yard. So I've got those blockers. It's going to give you some additional time against any kind of a blitz, and then you're just going to make your progressions from there. And if defenders don't follow over, just go ahead and check down to that drag. You'll pick up those easy yards that way. So if he does send pressure, you know you've got that deep dig route. You can actually go ahead and hit him on and pick up some pretty monster yards against any kind of man coverage on the outside. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the next formation of this particular ebook for the Panthers. This is actually a very effective. I didn't even know where to begin, but let's go ahead and jump into the next formation. All right, so the next formation we're going to take a look at is going to be the Y trips tight end slot. And what's unique about this is that you're actually going to be putting a tight end in the slot position, so you're going to have better blocking on the outside. My base play that I'm really going to be focusing on is going to be the Bucks sweep, primarily because this is such a phenomenal running play. 2 years ago, the sweep plays and the Bucks sweep plays were very, very overpowering, but this is still a very good offensive play, and it's something that you can actually go ahead and use to attack your opponent. It'll provide you seams up the middle and out to the outside with the running play. Now, the audible for the running play is going to be the read option. So you have basically where you can attack your opponent off to the right and then off the middle, and then you have if you got a mobile quarterback, you can go ahead and use the read option to hit your opponent off to the left-hand side. So you have a three-headed monster based on actually having the base of the Buck sweep and then having your audible set. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Buck sweep and see how effective this is. Alright, so with the Buck sweep, we're just going to essentially look for the hole, and it does get really good blocking. As you can see right there, I was able to go and run right up the middle and take this to the house with this run. Now this run is really designed to go out to the outside, but really what you're going to do is you're going to look for that first hole and cut it up. So this is a very effective run. It really can force your opponent to really defend the right side and actually the inside. Now the base run audible is a read option, and what's great about this is it's an inside zone play, and also it's going to be a quarterback option play. So you can attack your opponent on the inside and actually go ahead and scramble with a mobile quarterback to the outside. So to basically go ahead and run the inside, what you're going to do is when you snap the ball with the X button, what you're going to do is you're going to hold it, and that's going to get you that inside seal, and you're going to pick up some fairly easy yards doing that. So just click hold, and that's going to give you a nice inside seal, inside run. One of the things you can do is you're going to go ahead and hit them with the run with the quarterback. And if you got a fast quarterback that's like 85 plus speed, it can really become a nightmare for him to defend a fast quarterback to the other side. So this is a three-headed beast out of 2 plays and out of a base play. So that's what I do like about this, is that you have basically a way to attack your opponent in the inside, to the outside, and off to the left too. Now one of the first audibles is going to be stick, and what you can do is you can go ahead and take your tight end, and actually tight end number 2, and put him on a seam route or just a fly, and then take your other tight end and put him in flat. And if you got man coverage, you know you're going to be able to get that slant for some easy yards off the left-hand side. So that's what I like about this read. So this is 2 quick adjustments. You can definitely get this off even in a situation where you're chewing the clock. And if a defender doesn't float into the flat, you can take those easy yards into the flat against man coverage. So really my first read is going to be the flat tight end, to see if a defender floats. If it floats, if a guy comes down on man coverage, I'm just going to progress back up to the wide receiver on the backside, which would be Ginn Jr. And if the defender actually comes down to flat, I've also got this deep route that I can hit down the seam. So this is a really effective play, and it's very easy. It's a conceptual play that you can do pretty much wherever you want to. And because you're actually setting up a defender over in the flat side, that's actually should open up the next play. Now 4 verticals have been broken down, but if you run the stick play the effectively way, where he has to defend the flats for the easy check down, now you're actually going to go ahead and set him up for 4 verticals. So one of the things I like to do is I like to go ahead and take my outside wide receiver, which is Ginn Jr., and put him on a hook route. Very quick adjustment, either Y or J. You select Ginn Jr., and basically what you're going to do is take your left stick where it says curl and flick it down, and you're going to go look like that. Now if the defender that basically is over the left tackle doesn't float back, or I don't have that linebacker float back, I know I actually can hit Junior in the curl route. If not, my progression is going to be Dickerson going over the middle, and then I've got Stewart and then Olsen. If I see if it's zone and they're floating away, basically I know I'm going to go ahead and look underneath to Stewart, or actually go up to Olsen on top. So right here it is man coverage, and with the hook route you can pick up an easy yards right there. Look at us, I actually went to the house with that. Alright, so here's a good situation. This is a good look right here. As you can see, I've got two defenders over the left-hand side. Those are the guys I'm going to look for. If they float up like they are right here, that I know for a fact that I've got basically zone coverage and I took the shot up in the seam. So I'm always going to go ahead and take a look at these outside defenders right here. These are going to be the defenders I'm looking back. And if they float up, see how he's floating up? I know that's zone coverage, so I know that this hook route is actually going to get covered, it's going to get picked up. So that's going to be dead to me. So my next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a look at these crossing routes right here. I've got a cross over the middle. And I've also got this underneath route with the running back, usually is fairly money. But as you can see, this defender over here chucks my tight end and basically leaves a seam wide open, because that defender over here is actually going to cover that, and I've got this wide open. Now I actually threw a great ball right there, and my tight end did not come down with it. I don't know when he dropped the ball, but that should have been completion, and generally you can pick up a good 25 yards with that. Sometimes you can go house if he's using a safety. So vertical is one of the most popular plays in the game, but the reason why it's so popular is very easy to make progressions, very, very effective. The last audible we have is going to be the play action read. And basically we're going to make our progressions off to the right side. What I like to do is I like to take my running back and put him on a wing route, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my tight end and give me another man read. I'm going to put him on a curl route. And really my progressions are going to be watching basically Dixon, which is my tight end number 2, and to see if a defender actually follows him. If no one follows him, then basically I know I've got zone, and I'm going to look at the levels off the left-hand side. Now, if he does get followed and he doesn't get a nice break, basically what I have is I've got Olsen that I can look on the comeback route, or I've actually got the deep out. So I really can hit pretty much everybody in the field over here. Even right there, actually, nice draw pass right there, but that was actually, as you can see, what. So this is going to be the look that we're going to have, and if a defender does not go in a flat, I'm going to go ahead and attack the flat with my running back. I want to force my opponent to defend that. So tight end is wide open, no one actually covers him, so I'll go ahead and take the easy yards. It's 10 yards right there. What's really good about this play is that you're going to be attacking your opponent off on the left-hand side, and he's going to have a hard time defending all the different areas of the field. And you can access all of this stuff from all your audibles. You've got basically a way to go ahead and attack the flats off the left-hand side, off the seams. And it's just really going to have a hard time to try to stop all this stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into the next play formation with this playbook. Alright, I want to thank all my subscribers for sitting through this entire ebook. I do want to let you know that I'm going to be running this live against real opponents with this particular scheme. I might jump into some other formations that I might find that may be a little bit more effective online, but these are 4 formations that I think that I can have a very effective way to go ahead and force my opponent to make a lot of different adjustments to stop me. And it's going to allow me to go ahead and attack my opponent off to the left, off to the right, down the middle, in the flats on the right and the left, up in the corners, in different areas of the field that he's going to have a hard time stopping. So if you do like this type of content, and you like these full ebooks, go ahead and hit the like button, and make sure you just stay in this playlist, because I'll be releasing full games so you can see how well these formations work, whether I struggle with certain formations, whether I drop certain formations, or if I go ahead and actually use formations more often, because it's a hard time for my opponent to stop. To all my subscribers, I really appreciate the support, and until next time.